Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my live. Welcome to my live. Welcome to my live. Come on in. Happy Monday, Lady J. Happy Monday. Hello, how was your weekend? Oh, there go Miss May Smith. Hey. All I can tell you about my weekend was it was eventful. I'm actually recovering. Hey everybody. How was your How was y'all's weekend? If y'all had a good weekend, put a thumbs up in the comments. Let's keep this interactive. If you had a good weekend, put a thumbs up in the comments. If you didn't have a good weekend, put a thumbs down and let's find out why. I had a really good weekend. I had a busy weekend. I went to New Orleans to a funeral. But um, what I learned on that trip, um, we drove from Houston to New Orleans is 5 hours, about 4.5, 5 hours. And I love the drive because it's so scenic and beautiful. You are gonna cross over the Mississippi. We had the steepest bridges you've ever seen in this neck of the woods are on your journey from Houston to New Orleans. Those bridges, oh my God, they scare me every time. And yesterday on the way back, there was an accident on the bridge, and it looked like somebody may have went over. The bridge was broken, and then the one of the lanes was closed because of it. But nonetheless, here's what I love about it. But and I say this because from Houston to New Orleans is 4.5, 5 hours. From Houston to Dallas is 4 hours. And it's a big difference between the drives because from Houston to Dallas it's boring. It's a long, straight, boring line. You would basically take 45 north all the way up, and there's nothing to see. Your highlight is stopping at Bucky's. Have y'all ever heard of Bucky's? If you're not from around here and you ain't never been to Bucky's, you got to go to Bucky's at least once, even though there's some pros and cons to going to Bucky's. But Bucky's is a gas station that's always packed because they have the cleanest restrooms. The lines be around the corner, and then the gas. Everybody's getting gas, travel, food, and then they're using the bathroom. Well, on the way from Houston to New Orleans, it's scenic, and you have landmarks. So you would go from like Houston to Beaumont, which is still in Texas. Then from Beaumont is Lake Charles, where the casinos are. You'll see the casinos, and then there's those big bridges leading on up. Then from Lake Charles is Lafayette, and Lafayette is where you want to start. Put a pin in Lafayette. We're gonna come back. I'm gonna tell you about Lafayette. Then from Lafayette, you get to Baton Rouge, and then Baton Rouge is the capital, but that's where the second big bridge that you'll cross. Now you're gonna cross a lot of bridges, but Moonstruck, yeah, Bucky's is the truth. It has everything that you need. Yes, I'm sharing stories about a recent trip to New Orleans. Rode to New Orleans. If you're new, if you're just not getting on, we're going to talk about Social Security in a minute, but I'm just giving you guys a little brief little summary of my weekend. I drove. I and a family member drove to New Orleans for a funeral, and it was just the best ride. And we stopped in Lafayette on the way back because we wanted some boudin. How many of you guys know about our boudin? Boudin down south. How many of you have never heard of boudin? Well, just so that you know, if you ever go to New Orleans, Houston, any of the surrounding little areas around Houston, mainly Houston, because we're right on the cusp and the edge of Louisiana. but and also East Texas too. Anywhere where New Orleans borders, you got to try some boudin balls, a boudin wrap. They have a seafood boudin dip. I got me some of that. I got and some pecan candy. Oh my god! Oh my god! I got all of this on the way back leaving Orleans. You can get this stuff in New Orleans too, but I didn't feel like going to some of the places so we can get it, but got it on the way back. So I say this to say, if you're ever in Houston and you're thinking about the you got to go to New Orleans for any reason, it's a good little ride. It's cool because it's um it's cool because it's scenic, it's beautiful. You can pull over in any of the Louisiana towns, even Beaumont or Orange, because they're right there close to Louisiana. They're gonna have boudin too, good boudin and good daiquiris. All of these places and seafood, it's just the best. And so Billy's, yes, we didn't stop at Billy's. We were going to stop at Billy's. Thank you, Charlene. We didn't stop at Billy's. We were going to stop at Billy's. We stopped at this other place. I can't think of it, but the name, but the what we got was really, really good. We did not stop at Billy's though, but we were going to. And so I just want to encourage y'all when you're traveling, because let me tell y'all something. Over the weekend, the news talks all about how bad the airports were. And the airport, I've flown to New Orleans a few times. It is a great flight from Houston. It's only 45 minutes. By the time you get up, you're down. The same, it's about the same as flying to Dallas. Yup, then you're down. You're going to be there. Well, because TSA workers are not getting paid, so they're not going to work. TSA in New Orleans was bad. Well, the airport at New Orleans was bad, backed up, and they said the wait times were outrageous. So a lot of people decided to drive because it was a lot of people on the road too. And then Bush International here in Houston had the same problem, and they said wait times were in excess of 4 hours because, of course, you can't do global entry or clear. You can't use those services now. And then people weren't coming to work. They say that TSA Houston had the largest number of call-ins. People were the largest amount of workers who called in to work. So Houston Bush Intercontinental was backed up. But I'm talking about travel this weekend, guys. I just took a quick trip to New Orleans for family and then back here, and I'm talking about the my journey, which was a nice little journey. It was a turnaround. We went on Friday night. Well, we got there by 10 o'clock Friday night, and then we made it back home by 2 on Sunday. So our full day, we had a full day on Saturday, funeral. We did still go to the French Quarter, hung out, got to see a second line in the French Quarters and ate a little bit, had some good daiquiris, just immersed ourselves in the culture just a little bit, just enough to get our little fix and then come on back home. So now I'm back. But when I got back, I was exhausted. And so I got some good rest though. Thank God for that. Got some good rest and now I'm back and back at it, back on my job. And I missed you guys. I really did miss you guys. Stay out of airports. I live in New Orleans and the wait is far too long. Drive, bus, or train. I agree. And I think it's going to be what I would tell anybody is that right now we need to be utilizing the train. Train. If you're not going to drive in buses, we all know buses are going to take forever, but a train, I think if you've never rode on a train before, you ought to try it. And I agree with you, Charlene. Charlene, you are 100% correct. You either need to drive where you're going, and I don't want to fear monger, but guys, let me tell y'all something. These are uncertain times, And you need to just use wisdom when you're traveling. And there are places that you really just shouldn't be traveling outside of the US to right now. You can because y'all grown, you can do what you want. But and people will be quick to say, I'm not gonna live in fear. Well, can you live in wisdom? Because we should all be trying to be wise when we make decisions to do these things. And know what you're doing, getting into before you sign up to do it. Because the wait times are going to be crazy. They're going to be crazy. So I just wanted y'all to know about my little trip to New Orleans. While we were there, we were learning about how bad the airports were there and here. And so it's just crazy. It's crazy right now. And anywhere I decide to go, I'm pretty much going to drive. And if I have to go somewhere else far, it would probably be a train. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That's how was your week? How was your weekend, guys? Put a thumbs up in the chat if you had a great weekend. Put a thumbs up. Also, here in Houston was the last. This was the last weekend for rodeo. Moonstruck said a thumbs up. Great, 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 great. I'm glad y'all had a good weekend. Love Maze too said she had a good weekend. Good for you. I'm glad y'all had a good weekend. So tonight, Don's is also a good one. Thank you, Miss Charlene. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. I've been to Billy's, haven't been to Don's. I'm gonna try them both the next time because I really prefer if I decide to go to Essence, maybe going to Essence. I go to Essence every year, maybe going this year, and I always drive. And so if I decide to go, I may stop there on the way back. We're gonna see. I have a friend that traveled to Iran and he landed this morning. Oh wow. Wow, wow, wow. Pray your friend's safety. Um, and I have so many thoughts, and I'm not gonna say it because and there are people that will be safe in certain places. There are people that will not. Believe it or not, Iran they sympathize with African Americans because they know how we're treated here. So FYI, just know that they know that we are not treated well in the States. So if your friend is a person of color, they may be safe. Just FYI. Because there's no advantage for Iran to capture a black person. The government isn't going to do anything. They would just feel like Iran would be doing their job for them. So, a black person traveling to Iran, not too much is going to happen to them because even though Iran hates America, they hate American government more than they hate like certain people. Just FYI. But back to the government. Because we have this government shutdown and it's affecting TSA, I want people to I like to talk about how the government funds Social Security. Tonight, I want to preface by saying that I am also recording my I'm recording and streaming live on YouTube. It's not going so well because something I pressed some button and I don't know how to fix it. So you will have an opportunity to re-listen to listen to some of the information that I provide tonight if you miss something. Because what I'm not going to do anymore in the future is repeat an answer. When I get with my clients, after my client said book me for a consultation, the first thing they always say is, "You always repeat yourself. You tell us a lot of the same information." And I explain to them that I do it because I try not to assume that everybody is on at the same time. So even though I may have said it 5 minutes ago, someone new may be coming in and they may be hearing this information for the first time. So in those cases, I don't mind repeating it. But moving forward, so that we have a better experience and I'm able to get all of my thoughts out and the information that I'm trying to share. I'm not going to repeat it. If you ask a question that has already been answered, I'm going to refer you to my YouTube or my podcast because it's going to be there. The information that I'm recording now. So if you just stick around, you or if you don't and you miss something, then you may be able to get it on YouTube. You'll get it on my YouTube or you'll get it on my podcast. So that way you won't miss these details that I share about information that you think you may have missed. So, is that good? And do we understand? Capiche? So, welcome you guys to my live. I want to welcome you. I thank you guys for coming on and just supporting your girl. Thank y'all for being on my lives. I have a lot of regulars that come on that look forward to the information and then they come and they have their questions. Some have even booked me for a consultation, and I'm so grateful for that. So, tonight, if you're this is your first time here, my name is Ponch Wu. I retired from the Social Security Administration in December and then started consulting. So that's what I do. I answer questions about Social Security, retirement, disability, survivors benefits, SSI, SSDI, Medicare, so forth and so on. So any of the Social Security programs or issues, I can likely help you with those types of problems and scenarios. I have 23 years of experience and I get on here and I share my experience with you. But if you need personalized help, meaning you have a specific situation or problem that needs individualized assistance, then I encourage you all to book me for a consultation. My consultations are $25. You get an hour, and I can help you strategize and assist you in whatever it is that you're needing help with Social Security. And most oftentimes, I encourage you to do that. Not for the not for the $25. I'm not even tripping on that. It's just because if you have a problem with Social Security, 9 times out of 10, that Social Security problem is going to be a problem that is specific to you and your needs. And a general answer may not help you with that scenario. So I just like to encourage people book that consultation because whatever that situation is, 9 times out of 10, when I give you general information about the programs, there are specific situations that may help you individually. There are loopholes. There are loopholes. And I'm not going to share all of that on here, but I may be able to share that in a consultation and tell you exactly what you need to do for your situation. So that is the reason why I encourage people to book that consultation. And if that is you, I'm going to put up my form here. You can fill that out, and then I'll be in touch with you. And I can, you said you would schedule, I would help you to schedule your consultation, and then we can sit down and we can strategize, or I can assess your case and tell you what is going on with it and what needs to happen. I really encourage it for most people because it's just necessary, especially with Social Security. Social Security is so many different things that can you could be dealing with your particular situation, and you just sometimes need someone to guide you through the steps of what you need to do and how you need to do it. So tonight we talk, and I keep jumping because I'll forget. So I do have a schedule. I am on TikTok Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm in Houston, Texas, so we're Central Time. So if you're West Coast, you're going to be 6 p.m. And then if you're East Coast, you're going to be 9 p.m. I mean, yeah, it'll be 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. And so 6, 8, 9. I'm 8 p.m. Central Time, and then East Coast 9, West Coast 6. So Monday through Thursday. On Monday nights, we talk retirement and how to get to retirement. On Tuesday nights, we talk SSDI, which is one of the Social Security disability programs. On Wednesday nights, we talk SSI, and then on Thursday nights it's a free for all. So tonight we're going to talk about the basics of retirement. I'm going to talk about. I'm going to start before you guys. Thank you. I'll be waiting for your call or message. Julio Villafane, great. Mr. Villafane, you filled out the form. If so, you will hear from me. I'll be sending an email tonight. Um, so tonight we're talking about Social Security retirement. And I'm going to give you some general information first, and then we'll get into Social Security retirement um, options that people have. So, first and foremost, in order for anybody to be eligible for any of the Social Security programs, last week we talked about insured status, and many people were confused about what insured status means. To be insured with Social Security, that means that you have worked and paid into Social Security and you have earned what we call 40 quarters. And the 40 quarters, I always have to grab my chart because I want to be accurate. I don't want to confuse anybody, and I always want people to know. So 40 quarters is basically you've worked and paid into Social Security for 10 years. Yolanda Cameron. Hello, how you doing, Miss Cameron? You work and pay into Social Security for 10 years, you will have 40 quarters. And those 10 years do not have to be consecutive. So if you leave the workforce at any time, you can get your 40 quarters at any other time throughout. So if you work for 5 years, then you stop. If you work for 5 years, then you stop working, and then you go back 5 years later, then that's your 10. You would still get your 10. So that's how you can start to earn your 40 quarters. However, just understand, for those people who are trying to get your 40, you can only earn 4 quarters in a year. You can only earn four. And it's 18, I think it's 1810 per quarter, meaning you have to have worked at least and paid in, have to earn at least $1,810 to get a quarter. And to get the 40 quarters, you have to earn, I think that's wrong. It says $7,240. Um 1810 times 4 is 7,240 quarters. Why am I telling you guys this? Because there are individuals who start and stop work, and then later in life they start to think about planning their retirement, and they realize that they don't have enough quarters. And so I want to emphasize the importance of, no, even if you decide, even if you have, and this is to women or men, because these days men do it too, even if you have the best spouse in the world that tells you that you can stay home and you don't have to work, you at least need to earn the minimum 7,240 quarters so that you at least have that in the event that you get sick, because you can't get disability off of your spouse. I'm going to repeat that because I don't want it to go over anybody's head. People do this a lot, and I say people, I mean, this has happened a lot. I've had these scenarios happen a lot, and especially with women. Women say they stayed home because they had great husbands, took care of everything, paid and made enough they could pay all the bills, and then they didn't work. Well, some people will say, well, we had money and we could afford to go to the doctor. That's all good and fine until someone gets sick, and then your savings, your medical bills eat up your savings. And then you need Medicare or Medicaid. So I'm giving you guys the blueprint so that you understand why it is so important for you to just work the minimum. That's a part-time job. That's working just a few days a week. I'm telling you this. I'm echoing. They said I'm echoing. That's okay. I don't know. Oh, you know why? Because I'm recording. That's why I'm gonna stop.